TAC committee meeting to order finally.
You're welcome.
I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting for February 2nd. Matt? Ron? Any discussion, additions, deletions, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now we'll have Michael give us a little insight into the treasury.
Good morning, everybody. I've handed out around the table, but we have the year-end collections for 2016. We collected $4,171,995.34. All right, that was an increase from 2015 of 0.75%. So in other words, it was only up about 0.5%. I think most of that probably was attributable to the beautiful winter we had between 15 and 16. But anyway, the revenues collected from January 1 through the 20th of this month for 17, were $270,912.32. That's an increase of $49,000 over the same period last year, which is an increase of 18.1%. I wouldn't get crazy excited about this. I think this is kind of like our sales taxes will eventually even out and get down into where we're normally at. It's just like last year when we were down, I can't remember, 18 or 19% at this point in time because of the bad winter. You know, well, that wasn't time to panic. This isn't time to start getting crazy. Any questions?
So don't spend the money yet.
Yeah, don't spend the money yet.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Mike? Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
That around the Civic Center.
Good morning. We're here to report on our first quarter of 2017 and then talk a little bit about quarter number 2. I'll be brief. January 14, 15, and 16 we hosted the girls' youth hockey tournament called the North Stars. About 40 teams come to Glens Falls in our area. We do about 200 hotel rooms, so that's always good for our region. Sunday, January 22nd, the Sunmark High School basketball tournament came to Glens Falls for the first time. 14 teams from the capital region came to Glens Falls. Our bigger events, February 9th was the Globetrotters came to Glens Falls, first time in 10 years. We had 2,300 come to the event, which is about 1,000 more than the last time they came, which was great. We expect them to come back next year, which is always good. Section 2 wrestling came back again. They're there every year, which is always a big event. A lot of kids. We had about 3,000 people attended for the one-day event this year. Well received with our building improvements. We think we have an opportunity to get some other wrestling weekend events in the future. Our new ice floor was well received, so we see an opportunity there for future events. Brantley Gilbert, I know we've talked about this before, sold out, 4,800 in the building. We don't have a lot of hotel data, but we know certainly the Queensbury Hotel was sold out, and they attribute most of that to Brantley Gilbert. And a lot of other hotels, we're told, did pretty well in our area. The next night, Cast and Crowns, 3,000 people in attendance. Same thing, a really good night. It was a heck of a weekend for concerts in Glens Falls. Late February, the 23rd, Section 2 hockey finals, first time in many years. We had the Section 2 finals in Glens Falls. We had 800 people come to the game. And Queensbury won. I'm not sure if that's good or bad for this room, but it was an exciting game. At the end of February, 6 days of Section 2 basketball. We had 16,000 people come. It was a really good week. Certainly, Glens Falls was the highlight. We had about 5,000 people for the Glens Falls finals. But it was a great week overall. And at the end of March, the Federation basketball tournament came back to Glens Falls, first time in 7 years. The attendance was just about 3,000. We know it's not the public school, but it was a good event. A lot of kids and athletes come to Glens Falls in the region for the weekend. And we're certainly, we've talked about it many times. We're going to try to get the public school back as soon as we can. So, I don't want to talk bad about Binghamton, but they had 10,000 people showed up for their event. The year before, we had 16,000 come to Glens Falls. So we're optimistic with the building improvements that we'll get the public school back in short order. 2 weekends ago, Easter, Vantage Point does an Easter Mass at the Civic Center. About 1,000 people show up. We do a 25,000 Easter egg hunt on the ice. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of photos going around. Last Friday, Garden Brothers Circus came back to Glens Falls. The 2 shows, we had 3,500 people came, which is about 100 more than the last time they were in Glens Falls. We expect them to come back next year. May 5, 6, and 7, we have a private pool and spa show. We'll start talking about pretty soon, but it's a late advertising. Then we get into graduation, May 18th, SUNY Adirondack. May 28th, the 1975, a British pop rock band is coming to Glens Falls. We have 2,000 tickets sold as of today. We fully expect to get to 3,000 for a good event. The WWE is back June 4th on a Sunday night. That's always a good show for us. And then BOCES, Queensbury, and South High have their graduations in the month of June. We're in negotiations to bring a film shoot to Heritage Hall for 3 weeks in June, then maybe a feature film into Heritage Hall for the month of September. Certainly it was a busy first quarter. Our revenues, we had a good first quarter. Just one comparison, 2016 for the first 3 months, we spent $50,000 in sales tax to New York State. For the first 3 months of this year, $75,000 we paid in sales tax. So certainly it's a big jump from one year to another. So we're not excited to pay sales tax, but it's certainly a good indicator that we're bringing a lot of people to our building. So that's kind of a financial comparison. That's my report. Any questions? I know Liz Mahoney's going to speak in a moment. Yes, sir.
When we bid for the basketball tournament,
Yeah.
what did they do that we didn't do? Or I mean, what was the reason why they moved? Other than we have a more modern facility now, but I mean,
I think at the time of the bid we didn't. You know, I'm sure there was a lot of politics involved. It seemed like I would say at the end of the day, their bid was for their building was $0, and area businesses, or I'm not sure it was the CVB, guaranteed $30,000 a year for 3 years to offset the expenses to the New York State Basketball Association. So it was probably a lot of it was strictly financial, maybe some political. We'd won the bid originally, then they rebid and we lost it. So, but we recognize that we may have to go a little bit lower on our bid to get it back, and we'll work with local businesses to do that to be able to offset some of our rent. And certainly, the building recognizes how important it is to the region, so we'll lower our rent as well.
So that the rent is the major factor?
It seems like the basketball, or in the New York State Public High School, for all events, the rent is really becoming a factor. We lowered our bid for volleyball to get it back. We'll be able to talk about that pretty soon as to the outcome of that, but we're pretty excited that volleyball should be coming back to Glens Falls. We have a couple local groups that have offered to offset the rent for the volleyball, so we were able to lower the building rent. But I think it really comes down to building rent, building cost, and the quality of our building. So we think we've certainly taken care of the quality of the building. They were all there a few weeks ago for the Federation tournament. They saw what we've done to the building. In terms of locker room, certainly the video board, lights, cleanliness of the overall building. So we think we're heading in the right direction, and we're very optimistic we'll get it back where it belongs. Yes, sir.
What were the numbers on the rent?
For basketball?
Yeah.
The last year we had it, like the rent was about $30,000 for the weekend. We got down to $15,000 for the bid that we lost. I know Binghamton was at 0 plus the $30,000 a year that the local community offered the New York State Basketball Association. So, we're willing to do what it takes to get it back. Certainly, we don't want to lose money on an event ever, but we recognize how important it is to the community.
Yeah, it's a big event. I missed it. Anybody else? Matt?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now you mentioned the quality of the building, and I remember sitting down with you a few months back, and you specifically pointed out the locker rooms and the bathrooms, and you guys put a lot of money into upgrading those. Do you guys have any other similar projects for the coming year? Little upgrades here, upgrades there?
We think we may have an opportunity to paint the interior of the building this summer. We just signed a contract to do some more audio work. If you've been there, and hopefully I'll have the lower 5 rows of each section, the audio is not real clear yet. So we've signed a contract to get that taken care of this summer, to finish the audio project. We need about $100,000 more to finish some more locker room projects. I'll be honest, we don't have that cash right now to do that, but we recognize it's important. And hand railings, we're really starting to focus on hand railings for, if you come to a Thunder game, there's a lot of older people that come to the games and they would need some help getting down the stairs. So we think we'll be able to do that this summer, hopefully, with our cash that we currently have. But certainly, we'd love to have more video. We need some more equipment in our engine room. It's very old. So we've got another list, I'll be honest, of about $2 million we need to spend in the building to continue the modernization of the building. Heritage Hall is a big opportunity we recognize. But we've made a lot of progress. We're pretty happy where we're at, but we know we need more. Yes, sir.
Jeff, just don't forget the basketball scoreboard.
Pardon me?
You need to upgrade your scoreboard for basketball.
Yeah,
games.
by the time we get another big event, we'll have it there for you. Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
Make
I'm not sure
your
if the
job
scoreboard
easier.
needs to be updated, but I think the way you look at the scoring was,
Yep.
was the comment, so we got it.
Anybody else?
So I think Liv's gonna speak real quick.
Great. Take it, Jeff.
Good morning. As you know, when we have a meeting, I submit 2 quarterly reports. An upcoming events report, which Lisa got at the end of last week, I hope, and then the performance report for how we did this the quarter before. The performance report has with it backup information, data, and costs from each event that we asked for money for from the last quarter. I'd like to submit that to you. I try to do it in advance of the meeting, but if I could email it to you after the meeting so that everyone gets that. The backup information I think is important to you, but just to summarize, the 3 events we asked for money for last quarter were Harlem Globetrotters, Brantley Gilbert, and Casting Crowns. The funds needed for each event, Harlem was 20, Brantley was 35, and Casting Crowns was 20. Harlem Globetrotters brought in $23.65 attendance. We only ended up having $3,400 in costs, which was great. However, Brantley Gilbert, which brought in $4,800, our costs were over $133,000. That includes the performer, who is guaranteed about 60, the pre-performers, who each got 10, and so about 90, and then building costs in addition to that. And then Casting Crowns, our total costs were over $85,000. So again, the report, the backup to the report that I usually submit is in a little different format than you're used to seeing. So that took a little bit of time to go through, but I'll send it to you. You can have it for your records. But I just wanted to let you know, cost-wise, how we did compared to what we anticipated. If there's any questions on that.
Great. Anybody have any questions for Liz?
Thanks
Thank you,
very
Liz.
much. Oh, do you need to, yeah, for the next
quarter?
Yes, excuse me. Yee. The upcoming event request, I did submit that one in advance for the 3 events, Garden Brothers, the 1975, and Wrestling, 90. Is that right? And I totaled those up. The funds needed, total cost exceed that amount. They're over $100,000, but we figured 90 for this next quarter.
95.
What do you, 95? So that would be our request for the next quarter.
Yeah, motion to make that payment.
Somebody want to make a motion to that effect? Matt, second by Jean. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Liz. Okay. What I'd like to do now is, you have a proposed resolution in your packet there. The resolution is to set up an occupancy tax advisory group consisting of up to 14 members. This advisory group will meet monthly. It'll probably be outside the building here at the convenience of most of the members of the advisory group. I have a list of 14 people that want to serve on it. Probably should have. Basically what we've done is we've put on
Yeah, do you have the list?
I do have a list. Hang on a second. That squiggles on it. I don't think there's anything. You can make a copy of that.
Yeah.
Basically, it's made up of 4 electeds. They are John Strow, myself, Ron Conover, representing the bulk of the occupancy tax, And of course, Gene Merlino representing a lot of experience and a father figure for us all in the tourism trade. And then I reached out to the business community, chambers, some of the other organizations, and asked them to submit some names. Originally I had a number that I wanted to limit it to, but after they submitted the names, it brought the list of 14. I went through the names, and I have to tell you, I was pretty satisfied. One of the things I wanted to do is make sure that we represented the county. So we have people on there that are from Johnsburg, all the way down. We have people that are obviously hoteliers and moteliers, and we have other business people. We have from different tourism activities, including rides. We have Sagamore is represented on there. So I left all 14 on there. One of them is our good friend Mike Consulo from Lake George, who is retiring this fall. And then we'll leave that open and see if we're going to replace. There's no replacement for Mike. Everybody knows that. So it's a good list. I'll give you a minute to check it over. In the meantime, I would like somebody to get the resolution on the table.
I'll move the resolution, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ron. Second, Gene? Basically, the advisory committee is going to discuss occupancy tax. Anything that has to do with occupancy tax is open for discussion. Hopefully there'll be some consensus on the committee and make suggestions to this committee to improve all aspects of occupancy. So quickly, we have the three from the county, and obviously I asked Mayor Blaze to serve on it. He is obviously a significant portion of the occupancy tax. And then the rest of them are pretty straightforward. Eric's been involved with a lot of the business things. He's from Six Flags. You all know Tom Gay from the Sagamore. Frank Dietrich's on there. Christian Dutcher's on from the Americade. Mike Pratt is associated with Gore. Been around a long time, very outspoken guy. Laura is Dave's daughter. She's on there. Sasha Party has the Adirondack Winery. They've been very successful at some of their events, and it's good to have her on there. John Carr is an entrepreneur extraordinaire in Lake George. He has
Scratch on here,
He's scratched out.
yeah, we were initially trying to pare it down, but I decided not to.
So he's
Yeah. No, I said I squiggled all over it. Yeah, we were talking, and I was scratching and squiggling. Yes, Edna.
Dennis, did you not say John was going to be on that?
John Stroh, he's not on that list?
No.
He isn't. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, John Carr is definitely on there. He has the brewery. He's doing a distillery thing. He recently got a large grant to increase his business activities there, kind of pull them all together, and it has everything from educational factors to actually bringing students in and let them get involved in distilling and wineries and brewing business. And he's got some interest in possibly bringing people in and having educational things like fly fishing, and so he's got a pretty broad base there, and it looks like he's going to be doing something. Of course, we have Kristen Hannafin representing CVB, and as I said, Mike Consulo. So this is actually 15 if we put John in there. So, Ron, you made the resolution, you wanna revise that to 15? Says 14.
You certainly need John on there.
Oh, yes.
The other point that, it may not be significant, but there is nobody from the city here.
I was gonna bring that up. I don't know if there was any consideration for anyone from the Civic Center Coalition. I'd imagine they should have gotten some consideration, considering how much money they've been investing in the county.
Let me make a suggestion.
Can we recognize,
Matt, you have to-
Mr. Moore?
Yes, go ahead, Ed.
No, I mean, I would love to sit on that committee. The point of the outlets, from the point of the hotel, and from the Civic Center point.
Civic Center.
You guys open-minded about that, I would love to sit on that. Guys,
Grand Exalted Mystic Ruler here said we should put you on, so. That would be 16, we drop back to 15 when Mike goes in the fall. So, let me finish with Ron. So you want to revise that?
Yes,
Ron,
okay.
to 16?
Include Ed Moore and John Stroud.
I penciled them in, I penned them in. Okay, you good with that, Gene?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Got the motion on the floor, yes, Greg.
Okay, two concerns. One is,
Too many people?
but I'm not on it. That there's no one from the North Warren Chamber of Commerce, no one from the Gore Mountain Chamber of Commerce either. Mike
Oh.
Pratt, glad he's on there, but he's just taken over as executive director for ORDA and will be spending a lot of time up there. No doubt about it, Gore Mountain is a 400-pound grill up in northern part of the county, but as far as really being a driver for occupancy tax and being involved in those discussions, I really haven't seen them at the table much. The other one is having somebody from promotions there, specifically Americade, which is a receiver of a big chunk of the occupancy tax money. I'm wondering if that's if there would be a conflict of interest on having somebody in there like that. That's just so single minded. Obviously, there's you could say that even Adirondack Winery, but because they put on events, but they also have a year-round business here in town as well. Those are my two concerns.
Craig, shooting from the hip here, what I'd like to do, if you would please, is send me a
Sure.
email and
Yep.
give me some names of people that would be interested. That's the first thing, and then we can fill in as we go. Secondly, these people, all these people on the list are involved in tourism.
Correct.
Yeah, some of them are business people and some of them are not. Christian Dutcher, I have a personal relationship with Christian. I deal with him all the time, all year round. They have a year-round business, and I think he'd be an asset on the committee. There are other people there that get money. We just did a deal with Great Escape, the Six Flags Great Escape. So, yeah, some people, John Carr gets, he's in all the time looking for OCTAX money. Sometimes he gets it, sometimes he doesn't. So, I don't see an issue there.
Dennis?
Anybody else? Yeah.
I just would like to comment. The whole idea of the oxy tax is the attractions. What brings people to Warren County? So you've got to focus on the people going to bring the people to Warren County. As much as I would love to say it's a nice hotel room, it's really not. It's the attractions. It could be the wine event, or it could be the Civic Center. You know, the Civic Center has 80, 90 events a year. So we need to, I think those events are what brings the people to your county. So I think he's got a pretty good cross-section. I understand the chambers are important, you know, our little events up there draw in people, and your events they try to put on. I don't think it'll be lost. But the big thing with Oxy Tax is it's the events. What brings the people into our county? So I think that we need to stay focused on that. I think he's got a good cross-section there. I agree. You know, I've had my ups and downs with Americade, but that's okay. You know, with the rest of the voices on this panel, I think you'll be okay. But just remember, it's about the attractions. It's about what brings the events to the county. It's not so much about the rooms. It's about what brings the events to the county. So we need to keep working with the people who keep attracting people to come to our county. I think that's important in Oxy tax. That's my 2 cents on that.
Doug?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chairman. I agree with all that, what you said, but what you said too, Kevin. I think one of the biggest drivers of filling rooms is Doug Miller and the Dome, and I don't know if he has any interest in, and I know we need to make this committee mobile enough, but he's proven detailed documentation that he drives. He's probably our biggest driver of hotel rooms in the whole area, other than Americade during that time frame. So I'd love to have somebody like him on that committee, because he's the player. He
brings them in.
He brings them in. And so I don't know if Mr. Miller would even entertain being on that committee, if he has any thoughts about that, but that's somebody I think is a huge a voice on a committee like that. That's just my opinion. So
Well, one of the things,
More than willing to serve on that committee.
I mean, he's the biggest driver. Why not have the biggest driver on there? That's just my opinion.
there are any number of people
Yeah.
that are qualified to be on the committee, and not to slight any one of them. Several things are going to happen here. I think the committee needs to be manageable. I think what's going to happen here, as we go along, a lot of these people are going to disappear in another month. It's going to be hard to get them to come to these meetings, so that I know in the summer months, the committee numbers that are showing up are going to be a lot less. Some of the people who are going to be on here are going to ask to be removed as we go along, busy with other things or other ventures. So what I'd like to do is we have a list already started, plus Craig's too. We'll put them on a list, and as people drop off, we'll put them on.
So we're not going to entertain Mr. Miller being on there now. He's the biggest driver at the county.
We got 16 people, and you're absolutely right. I'm not arguing that position. He has probably one of the best occupancy applications in the county. He certainly does his homework.
Fills it all year round. See, that to me, it's just, I don't know. Just from me looking at everything and seeing everyone, I just think he just brings so much to the table. I'm just shocked he's not even on this committee to be starting with. The biggest guy, the biggest driver, year-round events, filling hotel rooms, and we don't even have him on the committee? That makes sense to me.
Craig?
Remind us again the purpose of this committee, the advisory committee.
What we're trying to do with the advisory committee is get people involved, one, that generate the occupancy tax. I think it's important to know how they feel about what's happening with the money that they're generating. And the other one is to get the people who are actually doing the events and have the ability to draw people here as an attraction, be it a winery or the Great Escape, whatever. So we're just trying to get a cross-section. We're not trying to get every single business person in the county on this committee. The other thing is, these are open meetings. Anybody's welcome to come and participate in these meetings.
I think, Dennis, you're okay if you add him to the committee, and then, you know, you said yourself, you got 16, 17 on there. Some people aren't going to show up, but certainly I agree with Doug on this one. He puts a lot of heads in beds, and it's year-round because of the Dome and the kids that play sports. And usually when they come, there's 12, 14 on a team, and that means 8, 10 hotel rooms every time they show up up here. So I think the expansion is not going to hurt you at all. Like you said.
Rachel, you wiggling around your seat, are you?
Yeah, I agree with putting Mr. Miller on. I mean, that'll give us 17. And my question is, with Mike Pratt, are we going to just replace him, Craig, with somebody that's...
Well, no, not necessarily. You know, if
Well,
we have...
Let me just insert something
yeah.
here for a second. This is not my list. I put this out to the business people, and they came back with this list.
Okay.
So I'm not really in a position to argue for somebody or against somebody, but go ahead.
Mike is a good one to have on there.
Okay,
So
all right.
It's definitely.
He's been at some of
because
the meetings, he's very outspoken.
That's
Okay.
right, and the position is that they are a driver in the economy. They, a lot of people show up there, so how they see the attraction, how it is, it's good to have their voice there, because it's more of an umbrella versus a specific one event type of.
Well, I misunderstood your question. I thought maybe you wanted to have him replaced, but, because he's going up to Werda.
That's a reason to keep them on, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
You give a great insight from what they're doing up there. And have.
Okay, yeah.
Rachel?
Doing what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to point out, I know with our advisory groups, Amanda's been kind enough now to, you mentioned having it off-site, but perhaps solving some of this problem of everyone wanting to be on it. It's no secret I would love to be your vacant member on your occupancy tax committee. But that being said, you could in fact meet here, utilize the YouTube, so people could watch those meetings. And as you said, it sounds like you'll give a public comment period during your advisory groups, but one of the things I know we've done with the airport advisory group is have it here so that people can watch it in the comfort of their own home on the computer when it's available for them, as just another added suggestion, which I'm sure you appreciate.
Rachel, that's a good point. It'll be number one on the agenda for our first meeting, is decide where we want to meet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Can I make a motion that we amend the original motion to include Mr. Miller on there?
You make that motion, is there a
Yes.
second? Ron?
Second.
Any discussion? Greg?
That's pretty, it's getting to be a pretty good, big committee. I had concerns when you brought it up to 14. I was
Yeah, so did
thinking
I.
that anything over 12 starts getting to be a little bit big, but it's your call, Mr. Chairman.
Well, let's do this.
Have a vote on it, right? We got a second, should we have a vote?
Yes.
You got,
I don't know, I'm sorry,
Isn't that, I don't know, isn't that the procedure if we got a motion?
the
then we have a
procedure
second?
is you make a motion, you get a second, and then we have discussion, Ron. We're in the
Still
dis-
discussing, okay.
Yeah, Doug, we're still in the discussion stage. Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, was there a motion for the other two that just got added on as well?
Yeah.
Yes, originally I added John Strow and Ed Moore, and now Mr. Miller through that resolution. So we have a total of 17.
Let's just do this and stop fooling around. Let's make it 20. And then we'll decide whether we're gonna put them on. It'd be interesting to get this thing off the ground and see how many people are really gonna show up and how productive it is if it's just a free-for-all. We have close to that many in the Warren County Lodging Association.
Yeah, there's membership in the Lodging Association, about 40 in total. There's probably 25 that are active in the home. That 25 represents 80% of the octax. And we have the same thing. People ebb and flow as a function of what's going on in their property.
Okay.
And Dennis, I'd recommend using the boardroom. I mean, that's just an idea, but the boardroom's perfect, set up for 20 supervisors plus a chairman, and, that's a perfect logistics scenario.
Great.
That's just-
Do we need a motion to make it an even 20?
Is there a second? Matt? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Gene, did you have something you wanna jump in here someplace?
The only comment I want to make,
Let's get it done.
you can have as many as you want, and like, we have 4 members on our tourism advisory board, and we've had 3 meetings so far, but 2 of them were phone conferences.
Yep.
Because not everybody can show up.
Exactly.
Even if you have 20, sometimes you'll probably get 10, 12. So you
Well,
do need a
that's
few
what I'm
extra in your thoughts of what you want to do. But we're finding we have a problem, right, Joanne?
Okay.
Well, everybody works on it, but we go to phone conferences, it's a lot easier, and it's working out pretty good.
Good luck.
Yeah. So we got it at 20. We have a list of 17 and possible additional people. Are we satisfied with that? Has anybody else got any questions?
Will you serve as chairman just to set the first date?
I'll probably do that for the first meeting to get the whole thing organized, and then I think the committee should decide who they want to be chairman. Okay, so let's do this. Let's vote, if nobody's got anything further.
No, we just did.
Aye.
No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, it's carried. Now, do we want the chairman to set these people, or you want the committee to do it? So if we have vacancies, are we gonna fill it as a committee, or you just want me to fill it?
It's an advisory committee, correct?
Correct.
So, I'd be good leaving it to the discretion of the chairman.
Okay, second? Ron? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Did you have something, Frank?
I just wanted to mention, Mr. Supervisor, that the way, the outline format that was used to try to solicit people to participate in this was not a function of the names, it was a function of the role. So we allocated slots to things like hoteliers, promotion, retail, et cetera. And that's how, Doug sat in on those discussions, for example, and when we say one event spot, which is kind of the guidance we had, that's how we came to it. So a suggestion would be allocate by what kind of responsibilities you want to have on the team. And then when a vacancy occurs, your reflex would be refill from that skill set, if you will. So if it's a retailer who bows out, you would refill with a retailer if you're happy with the mix, you see?
Great.
It wasn't a name thing that you would end up overloaded with hotel people or retail people or whatever. It was really trying to get a cross-section by by the kind of business they were in, but also by where they were in the county.
You can see that on the list that I doodled all over there. They got 3 hoteliers, promotion, attraction, retail, and then CVB in the chamber. Plus our subcommittee we just added.
But it still works out.
Okay.
If you're free for promotion,
But you gotta
the amendment you made today, if you call the civic center promotion. So, and add you put yourself in 3 different rows here, actually. That's the promotion. Doug with the promotion, and then of course Supervisor Stroud is part of it.
What I'd like to do now is, I'll work with the people on the list here, and we'll get a meeting set up, and we'll see if we can get this thing off dead center here and see how it works. And of course, we'll report every month how we're doing. We have one other item on here. The treasurer had other obligations, so we're going to table his discussion on OCTAX until next month. Anybody else have anything? Matt?
Just
Make it
want to
quick.
see, on the under pending items, what the status is on the Airbnb representatives?
I did all that, Matt, and then I had some pushback from some of the hoteliers, and I kind of put it off in the back burner there, but I'm going to bring it forward and make contact with the Airbnb people and have them come up. There's no harm in having them come up and make a presentation and find out what's going on. Then they can answer all your questions, and if it's an issue, we'll at least know where they're coming from.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Anything? Entertain a motion to Frank?
I'm sorry, Dan, just to follow the Airbnb, the rationale there is, from a hotelier's perspective, we think there's 2 sides to every story, and there's, so our ask would be that certainly no issue with Airbnb coming in and telling you their story, but there should be something from the hotel industry, which by the way would not be Warren County speaking, there's industry experts that would just come in to talk to you about the implications. That was when the supervisor referenced the concern with that, was hearing both sides.
Absolutely, I just think it's something that it's a real industry mover right now, and I think it's something that we should while they're still, I don't know if you want to call it relatively early in their industry development, we should really be on top of that and just have the full discussion, and from the hotel industry as well, well balanced. Yeah.
We'll get it set up, we'll advertise it, make sure everybody's aware of it. Michael?
Yes, this may sound like a commercial, but
Coming from you?
in regards to the Airbnb, on May 12th, at the Marriott Courtyard, the New York State Hospitality and Tourism Association is holding their second AAB breakfast, legislative breakfast. Some of you were at the last one at Fort Wayne, had it a few months ago, and that will be a topic of communication discussion. So, we will send out-
Airbnb specifically, or
One of
business?
the issues will be Airbnb, and you'll be hearing it from the hotel industry side.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make this as an announcement that on May 12th, that the Marriott Courtyard will be hosting this event, and you'll be getting notifications. That's what it's focused on now.
It is, Michael, and thank you. Okay. No further comments, entertain a motion to adjourn? Ron? Second by Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
Done. Thank you very much.
Yeah.